Hey guys, it's me again. Welcome to this lesson where we are going to learn how to draw cats in the Tower of Marseille style. Also, we are going to use this lesson to make the cards. Apart from the Tower of Marseille style, I'll base myself on two other graphic styles, which are Garfield's and Simon's cat. I find these two references really interesting since they reflect the kind of character we'll be developing. It is a naughty cat and sometimes a nasty piece of work, right? With a cartoony look. So we're going to work with this idea of funny cats so that we can use it as a comic drawing when creating our Tower of Marseille cards. As you can see, these two graphic styles are very simple and they will come in handy when creating our own designs. So guys, these are the tarot cards I selected to draw our cats. What are we going to do? Well, as we are pursuing a funny look, we'll make our own interpretation and try to add a humorous and kind of feline twist to them. With this, I mean to think of situations or drawings of cats that we find funny in order to reflect them on our cards. We're going to draw three of them, the three first, which are the Hanged Man, the House of God, and the Temperance. So these are the three cards we are going to work with, and I'll be showing you the creation process of the other two at the end of the card so that you don't get bored. When drawing our cats, we need to limit ourselves to both the graphic style we selected and also to the tarot-like style on which we are going to base our composition. So guys, this is the brush we are going to use when making the sketch and the inking process for our characters. You'll find it attached to the card so that you can use it. I recommend that you use a low opacity for the sketch and a higher one for the inking process. Now we're going to design our own graphic style for the cat. Remember guys, the three references will be inspired by the Tower of Marseille, Garfield, and Simon's cat. So, what we are going to do now is applying what we learned about the cat's anatomy in previous lessons and develop three different styles of cats. After finishing this step, we'll be picking one of them, the one that we like the most. As you can see, in this case, what I'm doing is using quite simple lines. It's not that important to pursue an exact representation of the cat's anatomy, since the key here is looking for a simplified drawing to get a cartoony look. Throughout the brainstorming process to get different graphic styles, I recommend that you vary the shape quite a lot. It is, if one of your cats has a long tail, try to make another one shorter. Or if one of them is bigger, then draw another smaller, and so on. Play around with different options and shapes if and when they keep to the structure of the character we are developing, which in this case is a cat. As you can see, we've applied some kind of shadows using some strokes similar to the Tower of Marseille. This way we are going to get a style comparable with the Tarot's one, but with a more cartoony and funnier look. So basically our three cats are finished and now we need to pick just one of them. In my case, I'm going to select the one of the middle. What I'm going to do now is copying it in another page so I can use it as a reference when making the cards. Apart from the cat I just created, I've also added here two other images that I'm going to use as a reference, which are the card of the Hanged Man and also a cat hanging on a rope. These will help me to draw the pose of the cat correctly. Let's start by drawing two rectangles and then we are going to ink the drawing manually so that we get a graphic style. I'm going to join these two layers to create a single one and let's start with the drawing. Also, I'm going to use the two logs that are in the original tarot card, which are like trees or something like that. So I'm going to draw them, but in this case with a cartoony style. Then I add a rope at the top and draw the cat hanging on it. In this case, I'm going to base myself on the cat's picture that is on the left corner under the card, and also on the style that we've selected for our cat. So we need to bear in mind the different parts of the cat's anatomy that we've seen, and also the style itself in order to be able to draw any pose using a picture as a reference. In case you want to do it by heart, then you need to practice it too many times so that the cat's structure is recorded inside your mind, and then you can do it without aid. However, having a reference is always a good idea in case we are not that sure how to make it. Remember that when drawing, we need to start drawing simpler elements and then move on to the difficult ones. Okay guys, imagine you are building a house. In this case, you'll need to start by the foundations and then building the rest, right? So it's similar. We need to do something similar when drawing, although it's a simple one. First, make the easy stuff and then add the details to complete it. Now I'm going to write manually the letters that correspond to the original card. In this case, Le Perdu. I've written it in French since it's the language used in the Tarot of Marseille, so I've decided to keep the original form. For the moment, I'll write the words manually, and then after we could try with other typographies even. We could download from the internet any option we might find cool. That's up to you. Let's move on to the following card, the House of God. In this case, I'll draw the cat climbing a tower of stacked boxes, and this tumbling down as a consequence. I'm doing this since the original card shows a tower tumbling down. So this will be the result after applying the style we wanted. We're going to try to give our images a funny twist, since remember this is what we pursue with our cards. In the case you intend to do something not that funny, then you need to focus on representing a more serious concept. Anyway, again, we are looking for something humorous, so we need to come up with ideas that reflect this. Regarding the cat's pose, as you can see, I've decided to represent it like jumping and at the same time falling down and making all the boxes fall down as well. Guys, remember that you always can to use references as an aid for drawing your idea. Okay, in case you're working with or inside a frame, as I'm doing, it's possible to rearrange the elements in the case they don't fit in the composition. How can we do this? Simply by pressing Ctrl T to scale the image and thus place the elements in the position you are looking for. So, as we did with the previous one, we are going to write the name below. Oops, I forgot to write the number in the previous card, so I'm going to add it to this one and the other as well. Okay. In the next and last card, the concept we are going to draw is the templance. As you can see, it shows a person pouring water from a jar to another. In our case, instead of a person, it will be the cat which is pouring water from a glass into a jar. Just think of what all cats do, throwing stuff all the time. This time the water will be pouring into a jar, like the original card, in order to keep the essence of the templance in our funny card. As you can see, the jar I drew is similar to the one of the tarot card. This way will be references and making a nod towards the real card. After that, we are going to draw the cat not only using as a reference the style of the Tarot of Marseille, but also our own graphic style that we decided to represent. We are working with simple lines, so we are also going to use simple ones for the water. Let's draw as well some drops here and there to emphasize the idea of pouring water. After finishing, let's arrange the composition with the same tool than before, and then we'll insert the corresponding name of the card. Well guys, let me show you all the cards so that you see the final result. Great! Now that we've drawn our funny cards and we've reflected on them the style we wanted, we're ready for the next lesson, where we are going to make the inking. To do so, we are going to analyze how the original tarot cards are inked, and then we're going to apply this to our cards. So guys, hope you liked this lesson and hope you learned a lot. See you in the next one!